and, buy it, stick to your formula. Like mine was, I knew I would just reverse engineer everything, as I'm sure, a lot of people do, not rocket science. I would know that the bank would give me 70% loan to value of what the property appraises for.
Yep.
So then I would just reverse engineer that. If the place is worth $100,000 fixed up, I know when I go into the bank, they're only going to give me 70.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to make sure, and then, it needs 10 grand rehab. Now we're down to 60, throw in another few thousand for whatever. All right, now we're down to 55. Let me see if I can get this thing for 50.
Yep.
And so you're basically buying like 40, 50 cents on the dollar. And it's the guys that, because, when I wasn't doing this thing to like bring money to the table to cash out my lenders.
Right.
I didn't want to come to the table with anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that, they get impatient. They want to buy their first one and like, all right, that's good enough. I'll throw in 10 grand for the deal. And, that's maybe fine if you want to buy one or two a year.
Right.
But if you can't scale with that, you're going to run out of cash.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is such a long train of payback. It's going to take you forever to get paid back.
Yep.
So the numbers are the numbers, right?
100%. So I think that's great advice for somebody that's getting started and they want to do their first deal.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I always hate is like when somebody just asks me, what advice would you give to somebody starting out? And it's like, well, dude, it really depends, because my advice to one person is going to be different to the next person, because it really does come down to, first and foremost, what do you want? You know, like, do you only want to buy one property a year because you're a doctor and you make 400 grand and you're just trying to have a tax shelter? Because it's the answer for that guy is going to be very different than the guy that's like, well, 25, I don't have credit and I just want to get started. I want to have, right? It's like totally different things.
Totally. It's funny. You just said something about what do you want? So a little story, when I was coaching with Joe, it came to a point where, we started a session and he asked, how you're doing? I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this or if I want to get into wholesaling or if I want to continue to buy the houses.